Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, hello, welcome, glad you're here. It has been a while since I have done a devotional partner video, and I was thinking about, man, I really need to get back into doing that and just getting into like my normal YouTube routine. And I was praying about like, what should I share? I don't know, like nothing's like really standing out to me out of the ordinary. And if I've learned one thing in my walk with the Lord, it's that if you ask for clarity, He will provide that. And He did with abundance through what He provided for me to share on this video today. So I actually was praying about it, and that very morning He spoke to me through Hosea chapter 4, and I really felt very strongly that I should share that in this video. Like I said, I've been reading through the book of Hosea, and I don't think I've actually ever done that. I know the story of Hosea. You may be familiar with the story of chapter 1, kind of chapter 2, where Hosea takes Gomer as his wife. She's a prostitute and she kind of essentially keeps leaving. It's really a story of God's faithfulness and pursuing the people of Israel, even though they keep turning away from Him and going back to their idols and doing whatever they want. And He just keeps on pursuing them and calling them back, calling them out on all the crazy things that they're doing and the wrongs that they're doing, but still like lovingly pursuing them. But I don't think I'd really read any more than chapter 1, maybe chapter 2. So it's been kind of interesting to see how the story progresses and just that like depiction of Israel, which really just people in general, Christians, keep going away from what is good and what God has provided to do whatever they want. And the other day I was reading chapter 4, and this verse stuck out to me. It says in verse 7, "The more they increased, the more they sinned against me." And it's really interesting because I read that and I wanted to write that down, and I thought I remembered it correctly, so I just wrote down, "The more they increased, the more they forgot about me." And then I realized that it should have said, "The more they sinned against me." But I really feel like that's very synonymous, and that was very convicting for me, because it's like, you know, in this context, God is talking about the people of Israel. The more they increase, the more of them that there were, the more that they sinned against me, and the more they turned to idol worship and turned to their own ways. Like what God was kind of telling me, and I think maybe sometimes what we do as people, is the more that we increase ourselves, the more we put ourselves up on a pedestal, or the more things that we have, or the more distractions that we have, whether they're good things or they're not so good things, the easier it is for us to forget about God, because He can so easily just get lost in the busyness of life, or in just the distractions of life, or the things that are alluring that are not good for us. And we can so easily lose our focus on where God is and where we should be. And I think it's kind of interesting. Maybe that was my subconscious talking. Subconscious. Oh my gosh. I think it may have been just my subconscious talking that I wrote down, "Forgot about me," because how sad is it that there are days where I live and I forget about God because of that, because of all those distractions. And the more that I maybe think highly of myself, or I think like, oh, I don't have time for this, I have to do that, I let those things kind of creep in and take over. Before I know it, I've forgotten about God, and I am doing some of the things that He has really pulled me away from and called me away from. A lot of the times I don't think that it's intentional that we do that. I don't think that we intentionally ignore God, but just like when we're in any sort of mess, it's just like little decision after little decision, day after day, that creates this bad habit. And pretty soon you're in a place where you don't want to be, and you realize you're so far from God, and you might claim Him as God, or I should speak for myself, I might say He is God, but I've forgotten about Him, and because of that I have sinned against Him. So that was very profound to me, and that stuck out to me. So I wanted to share that. I hope that that can be an encouragement to you. And the prayer that I really began to pray and hopefully will keep praying is to be awakened to things that are pulling me from God, whether those are just distractions. And that's a scary thing to pray, I think, because it's like, oh, I don't know why, but whenever I think I have those thoughts of like, God, take away anything that is keeping me from you or distracting me from you, I instantly think that like someone is going to die, or that I'm gonna like break my leg or something, or tear my ACL. I have also had this recent fear of my 2 front teeth being knocked out. I am afraid to pray that prayer because I don't know what would happen. But at the same time, as like crazy or silly as it sounds, be like, okay, what if I did break my leg, or what if I did lose my teeth, or something much, much worse? Like, what would that do to my faith? And like, am I in a place where I would feel still confident in my faith and trusting God more? Or would I be so far from God that I would turn on him if something like that did happen? I hope that maybe you can also start praying that prayer to rid yourself of distractions, that God would just make clear to you the things that maybe are keeping you from spending time with him and from hearing from him. And I hope I will do the same thing as well. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, go ahead and like it. If you have not already, please subscribe. And if you have something to share, comment down below. I love to hear them. Whatever you want to do, I appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!